Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Touken Rambles podcast. I am your host, Marissa, and we are all gathered here today because we're, oh God, what is this, a wedding? Totally wasn't at a wedding this weekend, but we're all here to talk about another musical review. We haven't had one of these in a long time, so we're going to be talking about Musubi. Jesse, why don't you tell the entire title? Because I always forget it.
The entire title is Musubi no Hibiki, Hajimari no ne.
Thank you, Jessie. And speaking of, Jessie is here, and she's going to be helping me lead the discussions for this because, as many of you know, we watch all of these without subtitles, and some of us either speak a little bit of Japanese or know nothing. So a lot of the times we're going in this blind, and Jessie's kind of our resident expert when it comes to Japanese. Also, with us here, we have Lexi.
Hello.
And Sarah, number one.
Hello, everyone.
And Sarah, number two.
Hello.
Yep, whole crew is here. It's been a while since we've done, as I said, we've done a musical or stage review. We want to start trying to get back into that. Summer was crazy for us. It was probably crazy for all of you listeners out there. Yep. So with that, I'm going to kind of hand most of the reins over to Jessie, Lexi, and Sarah, since they're our stage and musical gurus. So,
Woo! All right. So, Musubi no Hibiki, Hajimari no ne. Just a bit of the behind the scenes stuff going into it. It was directed and produced by Isamu Kayano. He has directed all of them thus far. The script and screenplay was by Mikasono Chuji, and he is the one that we can thank as well for our lovely pain throughout it. Choreography and staging was done by Shinnosuke Motoyama, who has also done it for all of the musicals as well that we have on this on. And we have our wonderful cast in this, featuring Yamato no Kami Yasusada, who is played by Torigoe Yuki. We have Izumi no Kami Kanesada, who is Arisawa Shotaro. Names, come on. Okay. New to the Tomyu world, we have Mutsu no Kami Yoshiyuki, played by Tamura Shin. We have Horikawa Kunihiro, who is a new actor for a loved character with Sakamoto Shogo. We have Nagasone Kotetsu, played by Imari Yu, and Tomoegata Naginata in his musical debut by Kiyama Haruki. The humans featured in this one are Hijikata Toshizo. For our Shinsengumi fans, that's probably to be expected. Takagi Tomoyuki came back as well. Shimada Kai, played by Tatsumi Omiyaki. Nakashima Noboru, played by Nihara Takeshi. Enomoto Takeaki, played by Fuda Rei. Just before we go into the full thing, a general spoiler alert. If you have not seen Musubi yet, and you'd want to stay spoiler-free, stop now and go find it, and then come back and listen to this. If you are completely fine with listening to our complete and utter spoils for this, then please, by all means, continue. Okay.
and for those of you who want to watch it before listening to this review, you can go on DMM's website and rent it there. And there's a guide online in the ether that can tell you how to rent through there, because it's just as complicated, if not more so, to access it and pay for it than it is to actually play Touken Rambles on DMM. So,
yes. Or you can also buy the DVD, which is coming, which is either out now or very soon. So, synopsis of it, just a general overview before we dig into it step by step. Is the end of the Shinsengumi and the end of the Age of the Swords. Musunokami Nagasone, Yamato no Kami, Horikawa, and Izumi no Kami are sent with Captain Tomoe Gata to prevent the History Retrograde Army changing the course of history. Tomoe sees how all of the other swords are caught up in the stories from their pasts, and is confused why he, a storyless blade, would be chosen to be captain, and is questioning his own purpose within the Citadel. Meanwhile, the HRA, the History Retrograde Army, is getting stronger and more strategic. Okay, so the musical opens up with the assassination of Sakamoto Ryoma, as seen by Mitsunokami Kane-san and Tomoe Gata. Also, nicknames will be used because I have no self-control. If I slip up, please someone yell at me and be like, what was his name? Yeah, so seeing Sakamoto Ryoma, who was Mitsunokami's former master, just assassinated in front of them, you'd think would be quite a stunning scene, especially considering how we've seen Nagasone react and the Okitokumi boys react. But Mutsu has no reaction and is just like, oh, that's just how it's supposed to be. And goes on with his life. Like, oh yeah, okay, just an average Tuesday night.
Oh, Mutsu.
That's a way.
Yeah.
That's a
Which
mess.
leads Izumi no Kami's main conflict with him, and he's just like, I don't get him. I really don't. And the poor Naginata, that was his first mission. Trying to deal with the two of them. He's like, I don't really get what's going on with them, but they don't really. So that's okay.
Yeah.
The mission went okay.
Their relationship's kind of similar to their relationship in Katsugeki, just a little bit. Just the fact that they clash heads a lot and don't agree on certain things because of the kind of like the moral code that the Shinsengumi went by, and the moral code that Sakamoto Ryoma lived by was very different. So they definitely clashed.
Yeah. And then we transition really smoothly to the Citadel where Tomoe is talking about everything, the Saniwa. Then we just jump into where the others are doing their things at the Citadel, waiting for the units to return. We get a cute sparring scene between Horikawa and Yasusada.
It was so cute.
It was precious.
The referee.
Yes. And Yasu's little line, oh, my blood has been boiled. Okay.
Also, can we talk about the spinny stage?
The spinny stage is fantastic.
It's so pretty.
It started moving and I was like, oh, that's fancy.
Oh yeah.
I want to know how they didn't die though with that stage, because like you'll notice later on, for instance, Tomoe is trying to go up and down those steps, and it's just like, how are you all not dying in your outfits with your blades?
And Tomoe's got like wedges for boots.
Yeah.
He's a good barb.
Yeah.
But after they finish sparring, Yasu is a true mood. He like spars for 30 seconds, ends, and just lays down on the ground.
That's a big mood.
Right?
That's so dangerous.
Yourself, that's me. Does something for 30 seconds and then it's like, yeah, no, I'm done. Let me just kind of, yeah.
How come you yell about us sitting on the floor when you praise this child? Like, oh, okay, that's fine. And we're just like, we just want to sit here.
He bounces back up really quickly, though.
He
You
does.
do not.
Okay.
You sit and you park.
I am not ashamed to admit it. Yeah.
Moving on. Nagasone makes mention of the two being without their other halves. Like, oh, Hori without Kane-san? What? And Yasu's not sparring with Kashu today. That's weird. And then Yasu's like, oh, but Hachisuka's not here either. Or maybe it's Hori that says it. It's like, oh, well, yeah. Sometimes it's nice without him. Sometimes it's weird.
Hooray for references to other swords that aren't in the actual musical currently, but have existed in other ones. Bless.
Name drops are beautiful. Thank you, DMM and Nitro Plus, for allowing that in your various forms. We are going to continue. When the unit returns, Hori instantly flocks to Kane-san's side.
Oh,
Like,
boy.
there's no chill. There's no stopping.
Hope.
He's a beautiful, bouncy baby walkie. He's very small.
And I love him so much.
Yes.
And I don't listen to him when he fights as a Kiwi because, haha, no, too much Kane-san, 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 Kane-san. Boy, I would have thought you got over it, but no.
Yatta
Clearly
no,
he hasn't.
goes on Kiwi to get over things, ends up coming back even more obsessed with Kane-san. Mutsu comes and just like strolls across the stage like, okay, cool. Hi, buddy. Bye, buddy. He's there for 5 seconds.
He is
It's a great
so
start. But I really like his tail. His fluffy tail.
Much floof.
Oh my goodness, that tail is such floof. Even the actors loved the floof, as we saw with many of the wonderful photos that were released whenever they were airing Musubi.
It
Actors
was more
love
about
the
the puff
floof
puff though.
and Yasu's puff puffs.
Yeah. And the feathers.
And the feather. So then we actually get our first song after Hori does a little Kane-san, wait moment. Our first song in the musical is actually solo by Horikawa. Holy cow, child can sing. Marissa?
I can't. I'm remembering. I died. I was dying. Actually, I was living and dying at the same time because, as many of you know, I love Horikawa. That is not a shock to all of you or to anyone. But I loved Ogoe Yuki's portrayal of him so much, and I grew so attached to him. And I was like, I don't know how the new guy is gonna do. And he just I was so happy that they did his song first because I immediately gained massive amounts of respect for him as a singer and actor that I was like, nope, I love you now. You're great. You're wonderful. I'm happy about the wall scroll. So, yes. My rant and tirade over my love of Horikawa is over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sakamoto Shogo does a fantastic job. I think we can all agree.
Oh, definitely.
He had big shoes to fill.
He did great.
Yep. So after his song, he surprise Burb shows up and he talks with Tomoe. He's like, did something happen in the mission with Kane-san? Because you know Kane-san's gonna say anything outright. And he's like, they don't get along, do they? In reference to Mitsunokami and Izumi no Kami. No, not really. They don't really get along.
They're like,
Save
then
them
as-
all.
Mitsu's a dog and Kane-san's a cat. They fight.
Yeah.
And this is why people ship them.
They get a summons for their mission, and all 6 of them are called. And to Tomoe's surprise, he is appointed as captain.
Well
I
deserved
don't know
Burb.
if I can handle this. The
Has
Burb is so
she-
confused.
that scene, and like they're all so stinking supportive of him. Like Mutsu's like, yay, happy, and you've got Kane-san over there just being like, hey, I'll be the vice captain. Just
Yasu's quite supportive too. Yasu, as we see throughout this, is a kitten personified.
That's a big
And-
mood.
Kitten definitely befriended this burb really early on and just attached himself to his feathers. Like, there's Yasu Sada from this moment. He's like, oh, you'll be a great captain. After all, when Hachisuko was our captain, he helped us out quite a lot. It was great. So I'm sure you'll be fine too. Yeah.
Precious. I think it helps because, well, he knew about Kashu leading, so he's like, well, I know a thing or two about people leading. I've seen it. I'll support you because that's what I do. That's kind of pretty much Yasu's character in a nutshell.
Yeah. He's great. And then we get our lovely Touken theme Musubi version. The spinny burb.
I have so many feels about this. As we can obviously guess, just because this entire song is so well put together, because all their voices blend so well, it's kind of terrifying. But you can actually kind of see little hints of other characters that certain ones have played before. For instance, the actor for Tomogata Naginata, Haru-chan, he plays Otori in the Starmie musicals. And at one point, because his Naginata is so big, they put him up. And it gives him room to dance and spin and do all these kind of things to remind you, oh yeah, he's a professional dancer. But like, he's up there. And his Otori is showing so hard.
I can
You're
see that
not
now.
wrong. You're so not wrong.
I haven't seen
Haru-chan
this.
is You haven't seen the what?
The Starmie stage. Is there actually
Neither
one?
have we.
Oh my god.
There's been many.
Oh, that's sad. But it makes sense based off of watching the Starmie anime, knowing him playing Otori. You're like, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So now
Yeah,
it does.
and it only makes more sense as it goes on.
Yes, it does. Just his pictures, the live.
Yeah,
Boy.
yeah.
But before we get to that lovely bit, we kind of jump right into the pain.
Yes.
Yeah. So first we get our lovely Toshi Hijikata's limping. Lovely. The wounded foot. With being supported by Shimada Riki. Riku. And yeah, he's not doing so well.
Nope, he just lost a really bad battle that he had actually won before, and then got the castle taken back. I'm trying to remember the battle. Now that when you mentioned the limping, I was like, oh, I know what battle that was. And yeah, no.
Yeah, so that happened. And then
I have a happy side note though.
Happy side note, go.
Happy side note, if you pay attention to when Hijikata's sitting down
Oh
and you look at
no.
his little foot, you get to see Hijikata toes.
I knew where she was going. I was
Those
there.
are the little things that you need to notice, man. It's the little things that make you happy. Like, oh look, he has a little hole in his little foot cover thingy. You can see his little toes. And then when the pain comes back, you're like, can we see the toes again? Because they didn't cause me pain.
yeah. Because right after we see the toes, we have Sarah's leprechaun man jump in.
I love you.
His real name is Nakashima.
In my defense to everyone listening, I am bad with names. I don't know much Japanese history. I am learning as we go. And so this guy just walks in, and my first thought is, those look kind of like leprechaun tights. This is fine. So yeah, I had that giggle before. Yes.
Now, mind you, we're like 20 minutes into this musical. So Nakashima comes in ahead of the game with all the sad news.
Ahead. Ahead.
He comes bearing gifts.
Oh
Anyway, he it was a gift. It was a sincere gift. He really wanted to reunite Hijikata with Kondo one last time. And so he brought Kondo's head
Yup.
to Hijikata.
He must be fun at parties.
So terrible. Considering I bawled my eyes out.
Oh,
That broke
the
us.
tears started then, and for me and Sarah, aside from like 2 moments throughout it, there was not much stopping until
No.
live.
Yeah, because I had just kind of gotten like partially fresh off of playing through Hakuoki, and seeing Hijikata, seeing the head of Kondo reminded me of one of the routes. I can't remember his name. The character's voiced by Yuki Kaji. He was one of the newer added on ones. We were playing Edo Blossoms, and I think it was his route. And Hijikata's just sobbing profusely. The strong, like scary Demon Vice captain is like breaking down because his best friend is dead, and they didn't give him the proper rights. They beheaded him. They didn't let him shave. They didn't allow him seppuku, and it's just, you feel all of that emotion as his actor is just sobbing and holding this head, and I'm just like, nope, I am not okay. I am not okay right now. You're not giving me these feels once more, because I think I had to stop and like wait, because I was just like, nope, I can't. Too much. I think I was I watching it with you, Jesse? Did.
Yeah, because you were watching that with Sarah and me. I think
Yep. We had to pause
Sarah
it.
or- I
I
think.
mean, on the fun side, I had just finished rewatching Bakuten with another friend. So like after all those realizations, because I like rewatching it, I like started paying attention to different things more. So I'm like already in like a little bubble of not. But let's go watch this now too, because why the heck not? Let's just do it. I like pain apparently, very much so. And then it's like, oh no, oh really, oh no, much oh no, much cry, much sob.
Yeah, but actually, the Bakuten part, I have a question about that. So at the end of Bakuten, we get Nagasone and Hachisuka, well, having to kill Kondo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is this a different timeline, or did Hachisuka behead Kondo?
Well, considering how the end of this one goes, I would say it's the same timeline. They just have to keep it. They just had to keep it within historical accuracies.
Yeah,
So
and if
great.
look kind of at Shinken. Remember when they do the story of the bridge and Kondo's head? So I guess.
because no one knows where it was taken. No one knows who stole it. So
Yep. Because
Now we
Kondo's
know.
head was, his body was buried outside, like around Kyoto, not Kyoto, in Tokyo, and his head was brought all the way to Kyoto and stuck on a spike. So yeah.
Guess I went sightseeing.
Yep. He technically has 3 graves because I think Hijikata buried like a part of Kondo along their route up to Hokkaido. And then obviously his body is actually laying in Tokyo and his head went missing. But it actually didn't go missing. I think it was given to, I don't know if it was given to Hijikata like they did in this. Based off of what I've read, researched, I don't know, like it's been a while since I've looked into this. One of the other unit captains, gosh, I can't remember his name, took it and buried it because he was one of the people he left before they left Tokyo. He didn't like what was going on, and it was kind of his way of honoring Kondo because he still cared about him, but he didn't like the way that the Shinsengumi was moving, so I think it might have been him who had and buried it somewhere. I don't know. History.
Right. So, history. Woo. All the fun, sad times. So,
especially in this
and
period
then there
of
was
time.
one.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun times in the Touken verse. Then we're back into it, and the retrograde army is afoot. So we have our boys doing their thing. Any comments on our fighting styles for our new?
I have so many comments. Does anyone else want to go first, or can I?
Go ahead.
Okay, so Burb, Tomo got it. Love him so much. Especially because he is so sassy when he fights. Like, you've got him swirling his naginata around. Everything's fine. Usual. We think that's going. And then he will literally just suddenly start smacking and punching people. This is fine. Okay. Everything's fine. And it's just like, he has no issues literally taking to the air and jumping around. And it is beautiful. And his outfit for his battle outfit, that's the word. Huh. How do you do that? His battle outfit it accentuates every single time he does a swirl. So it's just this constant stream of movement across the stage, and it's so beautiful. So yeah, love him.
Props to the costuming department.
Oh yeah.
Pulling off that miracle.
The costuming and department has improved so drastically since the first 2 musicals, I'll say. Even maybe like musical 3, you could kind of see a bit of a transition between things because wigs are more on point because Koki's hair is much fluffier and Tomoe's hair was just beautiful. And the feathering didn't look cheap. It looked perfect and it didn't come off either. And touching on what Sarah's talking about with his fighting style, if you kind of go back to either Suomonodomo or Atsukashiyama and you kind of look at Iwatoshi, he has a lot harsher of a fighting style. He's more brunt, he's more power, and big wide swings, while Tomoe is over here with really pretty fluid motions and kind of being a little bit of a prim and proper, like kind of being very snooty about it. Like, you're not going to touch me. Flit away.
Oh, yes. I do have a fun fact. But yeah, so this is kind of going off of what Marissa was saying though about costuming. I love the actors, so I'll read some of their interviews. And in one that was done with like early on when they were just doing the voice rehearsals for this musical, there's an interview between the actor for Mutsu and Kane-san. And one of the things both of them had they spent a solid few minutes praising costuming and about how Kane-san was constantly saying it has gotten so much better, the wigs especially. Like he is so happy with his wig now. And to the point that they were both just like it becomes a part of them. Their outfits are made so carefully so that they can fight, and it enhances themselves too as well, which is so nice. So yeah, even the actors are like, all hell costuming, they have saved us.
Yes. It's great to see that the boys are appreciating it as well.
So I will say another person whose fighting style I thought was amazing to look into was Musuno Kami's, because it's interesting to see how they've employed the use of the gun on this stage.
Agreed. Mutsu and his gun are fantastic. Like within Katsugeki too, they actually made it more of a weapon than you get in game. Hey DMM, can you please maybe give Mutsu ability for gun troops, please?
Pretty pleased with cherries on top.
But yeah, so Mutsu's fighting style is fantastic. I really like seeing him spin around. Like I said, I really like his tail. It's really fluffy looking, especially when it spins. Like Tomoe's feathers, it just adds to his movement across the stage, and it's really cool.
It's nice because they often had him partnered up with either Nagasone or Tomoe, so it always was a constant. Someone with fluff is going across the stage at some point, which is really fun to see because they took up the stage. They filled it completely.
Yes.
Also, it's really happy to see, I don't know if we really mentioned this, one of the background dancers that's been kind of touring with these guys for a really long time is finally made his way up and is actually one of the Touken Danshi, which is incredible with Mutsu's actor. So that's amazing to see.
Indeed. I completely forgot to mention that to start with, talking about Tamura Shin. He's been with these guys since Bakuten. Like, he was a stagehand with them, and to see him actually on stage, like you said, is fantastic. Talk about a promotion. Like,
Oh
he's
yeah.
so excited to be with them as an actual member.
Apparently him and Shotaro have this really cute relationship, though, that's very sibling-like, because whenever he was a stagehand, he would be in the back moving around set pieces often, and even would take care of their shoes and costumes after. But one of the really cute things that they both talk about is how Kane-san's actor would be like, "You've got this, man," because Shin mentioned that he really did want to join him on stage one day, and they're like, "Yeah, totally. One day we'll have us be on a stage together." Neither of them expected it to actually be on Tomu, but here they are, and they're both so happy about it.
So after that first little battle bit, we get a nice little conversation moment, and Yasu throughout this is struggling with his thoughts about Okita carrying over from Bakuten. So we see that being mentioned here as well, as he's discussing with Nagasone, and they're discussing their former masters and how, you're quite like your former master at times. And they're like, wait, how? Both of them get like that, and it's super adorable to see the two Uchigatanas playing together. Yasu makes a mention about trying to change the past, but he stops himself mid-thought. And Sone turns to him and he says, no, it's okay to imagine. We can't do anything about it in reality, but our thoughts are our own, so you can imagine it all you want to, because you can rest assured that Sone has had those thoughts as well.
Especially after like the events of Bakuten.
Yes, especially on that end. Then we have Mutsu song, Mutsu no Kami's Yosakoi song, which is a beautiful, beautiful song from the Tosa region, the Kochi area. Shikoku, where Ryoma is from. Ugh. Any thoughts on Mitsu, his song?
Wow, just wow, because I'll go ahead and put that out there. I did not expect him to be able to do the accents so well. Just wow. I know the actor had issues with it too initially, and he spent so many hours studying, so it's really nice to see this on stage and hear it, and it's powerful. I will give you that. I did not expect his voice to be anywhere near as good as it was, and then he started singing. I'm like, huh, okay then. You are a very hyper puppy that sings beautifully. Wow.
Completely agreed. I loved it because we had an acoustic guitar, like guitar. It felt like a country song from back home, kind of, with a Japanese twist. And then I was like, oh, well, I mean, technically this is a Japanese folk song, so it fits, but it just fits so surprisingly well. And then it was after this song that we see Sone start trying to actually befriend Mutsu, because he's like, our masters actually were quite similar. We just don't really talk that much. He's maybe I should try talking. But Mutsu just turns and walks away like, oh, my attention's elsewhere now. Time to go. Squirrel!
He is the hyper puppy.
He is. We have the Burb song following that one. Which was it was really hard listening to this one, to be honest, to start with, because I kept hearing the windmill song from Mihotose.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like, which is fine. The windmill song, Kazaguruma, is a really good song. It's just unfortunate that Kara Kara To is so similar to Sara Sara To.
I was about to say kara kara bowl.
Kara Kara Bowl.
The ridiculousness that came out of that musical, like just that trip and watching it with Katsuki. Just oh,
you
goodness.
know you love me, you know you love us, or you wouldn't still be here. Or at least maybe we wouldn't still be here. I don't know.
I don't know.
But Sara Sara To is like fluttering.
Oh,
no. That was not me this time. That was not me this time.
I guess.
Oh.
Yes.
Sada.
My poor favorite song is now. Oof.
Rip.
Help.
It's been
ruined. Fair.
Tune in next week when
Why?
we just,
That was
make
not
up
my
new
fault.
names.
Make up new names. Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, burp song.
It works even then too, because Sada's a little burp.
Oh my god.
All burp.
Okay.
no.
Rein it in. Try to at least. Oh,
We
he has a
created a
really,
monster.
really good singing voice, and reminded once again that, wow, he's actually quite talented, and they cast him really well. It is a very sad song, though, because he's just confused. Child doesn't know why he's here.
Existential
Yeah.
crisis on stage.
Pretty much.
Basically.
I think he needs his brother Shizuka to come in and kind of tell him, hey, you know what? It's okay if we don't have stories. We're still awesome, because it's kind of more how Shizuka's personality is. But I guess the song was just as bad as me with smithing, so they're never gonna get him.
Yeah, same. Oh gosh, that song though, it's so, this entire musical has this really interesting soundtrack. Like the music itself is very different than what we've been hearing And then this song pops up and it's just like, oh, hello. Wow. But also, can I just say, the entire time when he's just strolling along on stage, looking so pretty and looking so sad, those eyelashes. I cannot be the one besides Jesse who has noticed those eyelashes extensions. They are feathers, and I got distracted.
Are they really?
I think they're called like feather lashes, so they're like an extra inch to his lashes.
Oh goodness.
So it looks like, bless him. Yes, just bless him. He needs a hug, and I don't know how he's pulling off wearing his monocle with those eyelashes. So happy thought on top of, very sad burb.
Which brings us to another major plot-ish point where after the song ends, Yasusada comes on stage and Kitten and his burb and the wonderful support times. He's like, I have a question for you. Aren't the members of the History Retrograde Army swords that just didn't have any stories or a real place to go? And if that's the case, what does that make me? Because he also is a sword that doesn't really have any throughout history. Like, well, we can go into his actual history at another date, but throughout this thing we see that is his main thing, is I don't have a story. I don't get it. All of these other swords, they do, and they know who they are, they know what they were, and they know what they're doing. I don't know any of that. And Yasu just looks at him and he goes, don't think too much about it. You're here now, and that's what matters. And yes, Tomoe's like, oh, okay, I guess. And just bids him goodnight. Bye. But
Well,
the retrograde army's growth.
Tomoe's acting the real question over here.
We actually get discussion about where are they coming from? I love it.
Because even the game, it's just like, where are they coming from? And I doubt the game creators even know where they just, it's like, oh, they're just bad guys. But I love how the musicals and the stage are actually going a lot more into depth about these kind of dark questions about, like, plot holes that the game kind of leaves behind, like who really is the History Retrograde Army? Where do they come from? Where are they getting all these soldiers from? And stage over there with like, hey, what happens when you keep going to fix history and run into historical figures? So really hitting on some big points. So I give stage more because that is I don't want to heat in.
Let's continue forward. Let's continue forward.
Yes, let's continue forward.
To where we get Yasu's beautiful song. Ignoring the verb and the feels that he brings, Yasu comes out and he's like, oh, well, yeah, I guess we all do kind of have stories. That's really cool. I have a story. And then he gets kind of sad too, because he gets stuck thinking about Okita. And he has this one part in it after the burb joins him in a beautiful duet. Their voices work so well together, and I need more of them. I have high expectations. But the line in the song, wanting to get closer, wanting to be loved, wanting to forget, and wanting to overcome. And you see him just battling this entire thing. And I love Yasusada so much it hurts.
This was a beautiful, beautiful song. Duets are some of my favorites that they do, because you just see like the back and forth and the characters, especially after the conversation that Yasu and Tomoe had. This is like a really nice and impactful song for both of them.
Then we get another look at the humans, where we actually get Riku quoting one of Toshi's haikus. I forget which one it is, but it's out there in the ether somewhere that it actually is one of those haikus. And he just looks at him like, what? What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
But then we get, like, as that's happening, get Kane-san and Hori from above. And Hori just turns to Kane-san, he's like, oh, it's so great. I can tell where you get your great haiku skills from. You get them from Hijikata.
Bless. Bless Horikawa.
And Kane-san, like, lights up. He's like, oh, you can tell now, huh? Good.
So, a funny fact about Hijikata and his haiku. Because of the fact that he had this persona as being the Onifukucho, or Demon Vice Commander, and then having the ability to write these wonderful haikus, he didn't let anyone read them. And just kind of, it was essentially like a private diary. Guess which little sneaky nugget took his haikus? Guess.
Shimada.
No.
Okita?
Yes, it was
Oh!
Okita. Okita found them and hid them. So, and that's how everyone knows about his haikus, because Okita would just share them to people because he was a little troll.
No.
Guess he respected Ichigata, but he didn't like him as much as he liked Kondo, to be honest. So he kind of liked to poke fun at Hijikata. So that was kind of his way of cracking the shell of the Onifukucho over there by being like, oh yeah, you know this big scary guy with really severe eyebrows? Yeah, no, he's a big softie on the inside. Which I found hilarious.
Oh, just bless. And then we get the the lovely retrograde army comes in. But did you notice they're different?
Mm-hmm.
What's different about these three members of the retrograde army?
They need to go back to Joden where they belong.
You're not wrong. They have faces. They don't have like the masky thingies. They're more humanoid. Is that it? Did I
Yeah.
guess?
You did.
Yay!
Good job. A+. The humanoid human sorry, retrograde army. The humanoid HRA joined the Shinsengumi. And Kane-san and Hori, seeing this, instantly run off. It clicked in Kane-san's mind instantly what they were going to try. So Kane-san runs off, but Hori runs off to join the rest of the crew again. And they're discussing, and he hasn't quite figured it out just yet until the whole group is like, what could they be trying to do? If they were going to take out Hijikata, they would just do it in assassination style, like all in secret and everything, not join the unit and take him out that way. They're not usually quite so forward with their tactics. And then between Sone and Yasusada, they realize, oh no, their mission isn't to kill Hijikata. It's to keep him alive. And then you see Horikawa just, he mentally starts breaking. You can tell, starts freaking out. Like, our mission is not to keep him alive. We're gonna have to kill him. Okay. And
Yep.
yeah, that the retrograde army's been learning from Miho Tosei, apparently,
Oh yeah.
about stepping into human roles. And Yasusada's former experience joining the Shinsen militarily. So having this realization, Hori runs off and says he's gonna go find Kane-san. 2 minutes later, Kane-san comes back. And he's like, where's Horikawa? He went to go find you. Oh, he's not here with me.
Okay, so that's what the back and forth thing was.
Yeah.
I was like partially confused. Granted, I was like, wait, he was here, then he's gone, and now Kane's back. What? All right.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
So Hori basically used Kane-san as a cover to go and try and get close to...
Hey, it's Katsuyeki, kind of.
It's Katsugeki, kind of. Kind of.
Milder Katsugeki.
Yeah.
Now it sounds like we're talking about flavorings.
How do you like your swords? Katsugeki or Hanamaru? Do you like them home pen or live?
Open or live.
Introducing our new tragic flavor, stage.
Oh,
Don't forget your Naga soy sauce.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, don't forget your Naga soy sauce.
And your Konosuke Aburage over there.
So Hori gets knocked out by the HRA because he's just one wakizashi amongst this army of them. I mean, it wasn't gonna go well to start with.
Okay. Wakizashis have an exceptional scouting ability. I'm surprised he didn't catch that.
He
Which
was
is
a
kinda
little
sad.
flustered.
Okay. Okay, fine.
He was
I'll do that.
emotionally compromised. But not only does he get knocked out, he wakes up tied up. Ugh.
And I screamed when I saw this picture before.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
He wakes up tied up and being interrogated. By Hijikata. And just being like, oh, never mind the ropes that are holding my arms up in a really uncomfortable position. My former master is talking to me. Okay. So he's like,
He has a fanboy moment in a little bit.
He fanboys so hard. Hijikata's like gotten super close. I feel like he's got an arm around his neck and he's just like telling him one of the standard Hijikata lines. And he's looking off into the distance, mouthing those same words from memory.
You know.
Like
God, I have no words for this scene except Horikawa. Why? I get it. You actually haven't been this close to Hijikata, and you're over there mouthing the lines and literally freaking out as he touches you very, like, sternly, and you're just like, and you're like, dude, you're tied up. Please no. Please no. Bad. No. And you're like a high school kid. Middle school. Stop it. Kane needs to come get your butt now, please. I couldn't pick this one.
The fun commentary that Small and I had for that scene was quite something.
Oh,
It was part of the only reason we were able to stay up and watch it. Well, we as in collective, so I can stay up for extended periods of time and watch, to be honest. But yeah.
Please tell us about your commentary.
Please.
You dug this hole. You need to continue.
Join us.
Dig this hole. Hey,
You dug deeper
hey,
than
Small,
Ichigi.
you want to help me out with this one?
So we're gonna be talking about how it gets a little freaky. And Lexi, you want to tell them the new title for Musubi that we came up with?
Oh my gosh, yes.
The new title. Hold on. It was like, I remember this. I think we didn't like really think of the new title until like the very end, but we were talking about it the whole time. It was Hijikinki's Thirsty Swords featuring other sad swords.
Oh.
Accurate.
Not wrong.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, if it keeps us awake enough to finish it, then commentary is the way to go. This is what we get for starting at like 1 a.m. and finishing at 4 a.m.
Rip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We kind of did that with a couple of things while we were watching musicals a while ago, so totally feel that.
And
Yeah.
it sucks when you have an 8 a.m. too.
Oh gosh.
Oh, no.
Good times, you guys.
Good time.
I mean, for Horikawa. He was having a good old time. I mean, like, he got slapped too, but he had a smile on it.
I think you
This has
summed up
been-
that scene.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Moving away from the
We'll-
Kiko-esque topic.
So Hijikata cuts the ropes, and Horikawa quickly redresses, rebuttons, everything gets readjusted very quickly. And 2 seconds later,
Bad brain.
the 5 others are escorted in. If they had come in just a few seconds earlier, it would not have gone well for anyone.
Nope.
Nope.
Kane-san. Nope.
Nope,
Oh,
Kane would have
yeah.
probably ripped someone's throat out.
Yeah. So they come in and they all do the Kiza pose, where they're sitting on their knees, but where they're easily ready to jump to action should the situation call for it. With their swords easily. They are aware of the situation they're in, and they just really need to get Horikawa back. Sone's really good in this scene too, I think. Like, he's very aware of what's happened, what his status within the Shinsengumi crew is. So I really appreciated how able he was to keep a steady head.
Well, he did get that from Kondo. So I think we didn't see a lot of Kondo Isami in him during Bakaten. We saw kind of a really lost, confused, and angry sword because we had Hachisuka there that was obviously causing a ton of issues when it came to his identity. And this time he was actually able to try and explore who he is as Kondo Isami's sword and not just as Nagasone Kotetsu. He was looking at himself. So he was able to actually kind of be a little bit more of the diplomat and the leader kind of personality that he got from his previous master, which was really nice to see.
It was, yeah, very nice. As they get ready to go because Hijikata, they passed his test. They send Hori on his way. They all bow to him in sync really slow, except for Kane-san, who just stops, then takes a couple steps forward while the others are walking the other way across the stage, and then slowly bows. Kane-san is just very emotional in this from here on out, and I love it, but at the same time, I'm like, you're gonna be okay, buddy. But as they go to make their way out, make their way out of the scene. The HRA appears and they backtrack so quickly. They're like, no. But then Hijikata steps up and yells them down and is like, you will stop that right now. Well done. The demon commander controls even the retrograde army. That's terrifying. Okay. Is that big to see? But then Shinsengumi being Shinsengumi, no matter how big or small, is like, okay, guys, end guy time. Let's party.
You can't have Shinsengumi without some wonderful festival-esque drinking music times. And this one was... I love Kapore, but this was just way better because you had everyone.
So many
Literally
antics.
It was hard to watch everything.
So hard. Things that I picked up, and then I'll pass it around to you guys. My kitten got drunk, very drunk. It was very adorable. And he started playing with the tassel on the birb's nagi. It could not be stopped. Though Sone tried. Then he started playing with the covered blade end of the naginata. And the birb was trying to use it like a cat toy. Trying to get him to taste it.
How did I miss this?
I don't know.
I was probably focused more on Kane and Hori, to be quite
Probably.
honest.
Kane
Yeah.
and Hori were cute, but I'm always going to be focused on Yasu, especially
Yeah.
if he's with a group of people. But the bird discovering alcohol, quite precious too. And then Mutsu, like, drinking his cup empty. It's like, nope, no more for you. It's mine. And he's like, what?
He was so confused and turned up his cup and it's just like, what? That was precious.
Yes. And then it gets refilled by a lovely Shinsengumi member. It's like, okay, thanks. And then the retrograde army and their first taste of sake.
I forgot about that.
It's so beautiful. The three of them standing off to the side, looking so confused and holding this cup like, what do we do with this? And Hijikata like insists they do it. So they stare at the cup and then all three of them in sync toss it back, look back down at it, and then instantly turn and hold it out like, more. I need more.
You know who doesn't need more?
Kane-san.
Kane-san.
And
Kane.
Hijikata.
Izumi no Kamikane-san.
Do not give Hijikata or Kane-san any more alcohol.
Please and thanks.
Isn't that right, Yasusada?
Please
Who
and
decides? Like, I really want to know who, like, if this is something they drew the short straw on, or they just really wanted to see what would happen. Because they pulled the same thing on him as they did Hachi in Bakuten. And it's just like, Kane-san, no.
But they at least gave Hachi a rather easier cup to hold.
True.
You're not wrong.
Kane-san had a bowl. The poor guy.
He greatly enjoyed the floor after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mutsu is just a happy little party puppy over
Furball.
there.
Party puppy.
Party puppy.
Oh.
Yeah. And Hori back there casually retying the last bit of his outfit that was not back to normal yet.
Exactly.
Yes.
to be quite honest, watching him get back into the costume, I was like, I feel that pain. I know that because that was me.
Yeah.
Even though Horikawa has a simple looking design, it's not easy to put on.
The simplest outfits. Just a side mini tangent. The simplest outfits in Touken Rambu. Nansen, internal affairs only Nansen, and Chiopio. Those are the only two. And it's only their internal affairs.
It took me a minute to think about his internal affairs, and now I'm just imagining a beach bum strolling through the middle of the stage. Everything's fine.
Yeah. So, okay. Anyway, back to the musical. None of the costumes are simple.
No.
Then we get Sone and Mutsu bonding. It's really cute. They're just drinking, having fun, talking with each other. But then we get, after our lovely little Enkai fun, we enter the field side more as Kane-san approaches Hijikata. And he's like, I need some advice. And as this is starting, my heart is already like, no,
Nope.
you go away. Don't do this to yourself, man. Go away now. And he's like, hypothetically, what would you do if you had to kill your former master? Just, hypothetically, what would you do? And Hijikata's like, well, if it was something that had to be done, like there was no way around it, I would do it. Like that's just what needed to be done. So yeah, I'd kill him. And then he pauses and he's like, well, that's what I would have told you a while ago. That's what the old me would have done. Now I'm not so sure. And he starts talking about how he's trying to find his purpose in life now. Like his friends are dead. He can tell the war is like not going in his favor, but he's not about to stop fighting. Because he's still fighting for what he believes in. But the answer he gives him in the end, or at the end of this conversation, is if you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you don't want to do the task that has to be done, just don't do it. Something else will happen instead. And I'm over here like, this is not what you need to tell a baby sword. Please be smarter than this, Kane. Don't let this go to your head at the moment. And so then Kane ends up leaving. And returning to the group, where he runs into Horikawa, and he's like, and you, sir, need to not go running off. You, sir, need to not go running off without telling us and lying about where you're going, because what would have happened? What could have happened? What were you thinking? And if something happened to you, we all would have been dead. Like, it would have just been really, really bad. Stop running away. So it was really nice to see actually stepping up and talking like that. But then, any comments on that little scene? I know it was very conversation heavy, so much of that was picked up.
This is the one where Horikawa starts kind of like, you said, was it Hori berating Kane? Or was it, I can't remember this one.
It was Kane berating Hori because...
Okay. Oh, because of getting captured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I knew there was a lot of words exchanged.
Yeah.
I think thinking about it now, like now in actual context, because I was trying to understand what was going on, as to why he was berating him, it kind of hurts probably as Horikawa, because you hear someone that you've devoted a ton of your energy to. The creators of Horikawa in the game said that his personality is essentially like he is like the housewife to Kane-san. He's his secretary. He follows him around. He looks up to him, and here's Kane-san, who's usually like really accepting and kind of a bit of a goofball in his own regard, is over here berating him for acting rashly. And Horikawa is usually a bit more of a level-headed person than this, and yeah, much Kanehori feels. Much Kanehori feels.
So what on earth is it with partners being mean to each other? Because Gane-san needs to learn to control his temper just a bit is all I'm going to say. With love.
Well, seeing how the little prize at the end of the musical, like kind of going back and looking at these conversations that the Shinsengumi member, well, the 4 Shinsengumi swords in this have with each other, you realize a lot more as to really what's going on in their heads. So, and the impact of these conversations to not just the current story, but the story ahead.
Indeed, I was dying the entire time, especially in a conversation coming up soon.
Yes.
But first we meet the new human, the human that represents the turn of the era. Enomoto is a precious human being with a mustache.
God,
Sarah, please say your mustache nickname for him.
Oh God.
Mustache you a question, man? Hi.
Goodness.
Yes. Enomoto, he sees the Shinsengumi members, Kondo, Shima, not Kondo. Ow, my bad. He's seeing
Oof, wrong
ghosts.
musical.
He sees Hijikata, Shimada, and Nakashima. Oh! But first, Nakashima, the leprechaun man I keep forgetting about. With the drunk HRA, right? Just asleep together in a pile on the ground.
Oh yeah, that little tiny scene.
Yeah, Nakashima comes out, and Nakashima likes to paint. That's like a little hobby of his. And he's like, I'm gonna draw you guys real quick. And he's like, you're really weird looking, you know? Like, you kind of look like a cat, kind of. And you look like a snail. That's really weird. But that's really cool. I'm not picking on you. It's not a bad thing. You should be honored because not everybody looks like a snail. That's really impressive. And
So pure.
yeah, so we see that, oh wow, they still look weird, but they're much more human, and that's very concerning. Scared for what the future holds for them in the musical world. But then we see so back to where we were with the 3 of them being spotted by Enomoto. They're trying to figure out where to go next. And Enomoto's like, oh, we have similar ideals about society. Let me help you, because I have money, and I'm pretty smart, though it's not really that big a deal. Proceeds to speak like 3 different languages.
He was trained over actually in the West. He got a lot of his education up there. So, yep.
And he's very pretty and too.
Darn, that guy's French later on in the musical.
Ooh.
Oh man, it's fantastic. But he breaks out in song.
And
Where
I
are you
had to
going, guys? Come with me to the north.
Good Lord. I pointed this out when he was singing his song. I look at Jesse and Sarah and I'm like, guys, this is the first song sung just by, like, this is a song that's, wait, hold on. Rephrasing words. The first song that's not sung by a Touken Danshi, and it's a solo song by just like a historical figure. And they went boom, like the heads exploded, like they didn't notice, like, what, is it really? And then you just kind of recount all ones, and I don't think any of the previous historical figures actually sang any of the songs, even with the Touken Danshi, except in the live during like Otokomichi and stuff like that. He is the first guy to get his own song sung without a Touken Danshi, and he's by himself. So props to him, because he probably
He has
had
a really good voice too.
That was probably why they're like, we have this actor who can sing really well, and we're not using him. Let's make a song about going to the north.
In English too. To the north.
And like he switches into French too randomly. He's like, Madame, and he's just like, here you go, all these languages all at once in one single sentence. He goes through 3 different ones.
Oh god.
One
It's
sentence.
beautiful. And then the next thing you know, though, the stage that was this awesome, like, stone arch, is now a boat.
Yep. We're on a boat.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So they make their way northwards.
To their death.
And yeah, as the boys are watching this happen, the mood for all of the Shinsengumi swords, it just plummets. And Mutsu's looking at them like, well, this has been fun, guys.
You're not wrong.
And
Feathers.
Tomoe's just like, I guess. Everyone's a little bit moody right now anyway.
Like, what's wrong? What's so bad about going to Hokkaido?
Yeah. Except poor Mutsu. They get up north and he's like, it's so cold. I am so cold. And he just tries to use Tomoe's feathers. He's just like, I just want warmth. And Tomoe looks at him and he's like, you touch my feathers again and you will die.
It's like a
And
reverse,
it is so life-giving.
it's like a reverse Nagi. Less bringing Nagi to the beach in the middle of the summer. Just no.
Yes.
It's just poor people who have no semblance of what is cold and what's warm, and then going to the opposite.
Me moving to North Carolina be like,
Because
what
for those
is,
of you,
guys? I can't heat. I can't outside.
well, it's now fall. It is now officially fall, as Sarah is currently experiencing, with it being, what is it, about 54 degrees now?
I think it's dropped by now. It's cold.
Sarah's currently Mutsu and she's in need of a bird blanket.
I am. Give me bird blanket.
We should open a Patreon and get Sarah a space heater. Or better Wi-Fi?
Better Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Right now, I just take a blanket.
So, moving on from that, though, we go back to the humans, and we see them discussing again. This conversation, this is where notes have ended, so I'm going off of reading between lines from other notes. This conversation should be one where Hijikata is realizing just how smart Enomoto is and
Oh,
how
yeah.
much he learned from being overseas. He starts talking about the stars because Enomoto started feeling down and questioning why they were at war, I think is what was happening. And
Think so.
Yep.
and Hijikata's trying to figure out which tactic to use to like bring the mood back up, and he's like, "Oh, Sirius, the star, right up there, right? Did you know there are two?" And Enomoto just dejectedly from his chair, Sirius is back that way, in a completely other portion of the sky. And he's like, "Wait, what?"
Whoops.
Yeah, and he says something else and gets him to talk about that, about his studies. He's like, "You're one of those learned people, aren't you?" I mean, not really, though. I do know this and this and this and this and this, and I studied this and this and this. And that's when he breaks out into complete French and just says like three or four sentences, baffling poor Hijikata, who's like, "Well, I'm out of my league. Okay, that's cool."
But to be honest, their relationship works out so well because despite the fact that Enomoto has an education, he can speak 3 different languages, which is obviously English, French, and Japanese, and he knows a lot about the stars and military tactics. He doesn't have actual experience leading people or actual battlefield experience, which is why Hijikata comes in with the actual person that has years of experience, but is lacking in an actual education like Inamoto. So it's interesting to see that one feels down about one thing and the other does as well. And it's like, well, can't be complete people, but we work well together as a team because it's all we have now at the edge of the world.
So then Enomoto ends up leaving, and we just see Hijikata back in the office, and Kane-san comes back. And just more discussion there, too. Along the same lines, so there's not much progress at this point. He just really likes to talk to Yoshi.
he just wants to learn from him
Yes.
because he's not gonna have much time later. So
No. Well, we have another fight, though.
Dun
Before
dun dun.
This is the pre-final fight.
Yep.
Yep. So as the war is beginning to actually pick up at the end, we actually have the Waki-Uchi combo attack.
Ayo.
Tomoe turning into a windmill.
Did okay.
Gotta go.
I couldn't help it. He did. He was just going whoop.
He spins it so gracefully, like legit turns into a windmill. Like Iwatoshi is a helicopter,
Yup.
but
You're not wrong.
Tomoe is a windmill.
Well, he did almost sing a version that sounded very similar to Kuma, so
Yeah.
makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
are you saying that Naginatas are just spins?
Or what?
Giant spins.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
If the title fit.
Then what is Shizuka? Well, we won't know unless they actually stick him in the stages. So
Neither of us
Hey,
are ever going to
DMM.
know if our Smith doesn't like us anytime soon.
Hey
That's true.
DMM, let's find out how the new Nagi moves, shall we?
We need
We got to move
another
like
giant
giants.
spin.
Giant spins.
Giant spin.
Then we've got another Mutsu song that turns into a group song, and it was a beautiful one. Any thoughts on that song?
I think at this point I was
Oof.
dying. I was very much dying.
They tossed it in as the feels were hitting hard.
Yeah, they were.
Kind of makes it hard to focus on it at times, but
Yeah.
alas, still very beautiful.
It had a really good beat, though. I will give it that. She's like, da, 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 da. Yep. It was very nice, though, because it was a good little transition into the next pain that was coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the next scene was another conversation scene, which I have titled this scene the group grief counseling time.
Yep.
Because Kane-san and Hori have, they know this is the Battle of Hakodate. This is where Hijikata has to die. And they're having to face it, and they're not really sure how. But they know that Nagasone has gone through this too. And so they ask him, they're talking about it, like, what does it feel like to have that happen, to watch your master die? And Nagasone responds, there's a hole that opens in your heart. And you feel it, and it doesn't go away. It's still very much there. It hurts, but you can't really change that. And Yasu is sitting there beside him, nodding, like, the same happened with me with Okita when I realized, and it still really hurts. And then it just kind of starts going quiet. And Tomoe steps out from the shadows a little bit, and he's like, everyone's got all these stories, but I don't really know what you're talking about. But at the same time, because I don't have those stories, I feel like there's a part of me that's missing too. And my little kitten bounces over to him, and he's like, I'm so sorry. But then as he's apologizing, Tomoe just looks at him and he's like, I'm just joking. It was a joke. It's okay. I'm fine. And Yasu just looks at him kind of sideways, and he's like, Tomoe, you should really work on your jokes and make them sound like actual jokes. It's really hard to tell when you're joking. And Tomoe just kind of stumbles a little bit to the side. And he's like, I've learned so many things. My head really hurts. And he just drops to the floor.
I love him so much.
He's like, oh, it hurts. And Yasu freaks out. He's like, are you okay? And he just jumps up again. He's like, yeah, it's just a joke.
Like, what did we just tell you? What did we just tell you? Stop giving Yasusada heart attacks. Emotional issues because you decided to make a joke.
Yeah. It was blessed. It was blessed. It was beautiful.
And then even more pain.
Oh, so the fighting's really starting to pick up, and Enomoto's like, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go help you too, because Hijikata's like, my boys are suffering. I need to go help them, and you, sir, are sitting right here. And Enomoto reaches behind him, like, to grab a weapon. He's like, no, I'm going with you. And Hijikata just straight up punches him. He's like, you are going nowhere. Because Hijikata realizes that, no, Enomoto's going to be the one to, like, really help Japan become more of a country. He's very important for this country's future.
Even though he gets arrested.
He gets arrested.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Whoops.
What happened.
I think another reason he did that was because it wasn't just because the fact that it was like, hey, you have the ability to shape Japan's future. I was also, I can't let someone else die. And like you said, like, you're the future, I'm the past. I need to go on the front lines and be with my men. Also, you're not a fighter, dude. You're a politician. They didn't really mention this, but Inamoto, when they go to Hokkaido, when they go to Hakodate, they like form their own little, like, I don't know what to call it. They try to make like a separate entity from Japan that's more of a democracy, because at the time Japan had no democracy. It was completely shogun ruled, and then eventually back to being ruled by the emperor, like right after this. And Inamoto is elected president of this little know nothing group of people in like in just the city of Hakodate. And because of his ability to be a politician, his smarts, so that was kind of another reason Hijikata was like, sit your butt down. I'm gonna go fight, and I'm going to die like a noble samurai, because everyone else I know is dead, and I can't be a coward sitting behind here. But you are not a coward sitting behind here, because you have the smarts to do so. And someone needs to be here when we surrender. Because Inamoto is the one that eventually surrenders and helps to lessen a lot of the crimes against the remaining members of the Shinsengumi and the people that kind of rebelled against the Emperor's rule. So without Inamoto, a lot of people would have been probably dead afterwards. Instead, they were in prison for a really long time.
Yep.
Hooray! History facts. I love how I remember all of this now and not during my Touken Rambles panel.
Hey, it happens.
It does, and I always cover the Shinsengumi last, and my brain at that point is kind of like dead.
If it makes you feel better, I'm obsessed with Japanese history, and all of this bit is like nowhere to be found in my. So,
What?
yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome.
But then we're back to just Hijikata alone again, and we get the final talk with Kane and Toshi alone in the office. And he's like, he tells Kane-san, "Oh, I found it, by the way. My purpose in life, what I'm meant to do with the rest of my life. I beat you to it. I'm sorry that it doesn't seem like you found yours yet, but maybe it'll happen for you soon." And Kane-san's just like, "Oh, well, okay. Cool talk, man." And then we get the fight. The final fight. And yeah.
And then
These
much pain.
babies, though, they are clearly in the orange. Nagasone and Burb are almost to the red at this point. Like, from their actions, from how many injuries they've taken. Ah! Babies.
We got to see Hijikata keep the other two, Shimada and Nakashima, from committing seppuku on the field, telling them not to throw it all away here, to just live. Like, all he said at the time was for them to just live, not to leave behind their wives, which they did have, and their families, just because they were afraid they were going to be captured. He just wanted them to keep living, and that really. There was a scene, one of the conversations nearish the end, between Nagasone and Yamato no Kami. I want to say it was before this fight scene. but they were sitting there, and Yamato no Kami makes the mention that he just can't get over Okita-kun, and he thinks he needs to go back. He needs to go back and see for himself how it was handled and how he could handle it better. And at this point, I'm screaming because they're hinting at a Kiwame Yasusada, and I'm like, well, okay, what does this mean? But that was before this fight. I just can't remember when that was. Darn it.
This time was very. There was a lot going on.
Yeah. We see the 3 humanoid HRA fighting with the burb. And this was a very interesting scene, I think, especially for Tomoe's like state, his like existential crisis state, basically, as he's fighting these people that are basically like himself.
Mm.
And he sees how hard they've worked, and he somehow ends up getting them all into a pile on the floor together instead of just strewn across. I know Sarah had feelings about that one.
I very much did, actually. That scene was very powerful, at least for me, just because watching it, it's first a sign of just like how he's employing other means of fighting, because this is one where he does, at one point, he doesn't even have his hands on this blade. He has got an enemy blade almost through him, and he grabs it and stabs its owner with it. So that's like, oh, this is fine. But it's a good thing to see how they're employing other means of fighting. But he gives them this last bit of humanity, because he killed one of them separate from the other 2. But he literally took the end of his Naginata, picked him up essentially, and tossed him in the pile. So all 3 of them could die together. And that scene right there was just like, oh my goodness. He is giving them this last bit of humanity. It's kind of a nod to say, I acknowledge you as a very good opponent, and I give you this last bit because these were your companions, and I won't make you die separate. So yeah, that scene did me in a bit.
Yeah, that from here on, I remember just being in a state of, well, that's happened. Okay. That's cool. Let's just embrace the pain and let it wash over us. Then we get the confrontation scene. Kane-san and Hijikata. He's trying to come to terms with the fact that he does have to kill his former master, and he's trying to tell himself he can do it. It's not working very well, but he is trying. And so they fight, and they have it out. And as the fight's nearing its end, they accept it. Or Toshi accepts that Kane-san beat him, but Kane-san can't bring himself to make that final swipe of his sword. And he just stops, and Hijikata looks at him, grabs hold of him, and it looks like he's eating his hair. Got a mouthful of the Kane hair.
No.
As he's telling him, you don't have to do this. It's okay. And Kane-san just freezes, like he can't bring himself to move. But Hijikata is already majorly wounded as it is, so he's just walking away, like limping, hobbling away. And poor Hori and Kane are just watching this happen. And from up on top of the stage, we have a wild puppy appear, and he shoots that final shot to bring down Hijikata so that it would happen as according to history. And oof.
I was not okay. I had kind of
shot.
yeah, I had called the fact that like when Kane-san confronted Hijikata kind of early, like in the middle of the music, about what would you do if you had to kill off your master. I was like, we're gonna have a similar ending to Bakaten, where instead of Nagasone having the hard choice of killing his former master, it's gonna be Kane-san. And then I was like, Hijikata died on the battlefield to a gunshot wound to the stomach. No. Nope, 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 nope. Mutsu's gonna do it. Mutsu is going to have to kill him. And he's gonna, it's not gonna, like, it's gonna be easy for Mutsu. Mutsu's just, I don't know, like, one of the issues I kind of had with his writing was like how desensitized he was to everything. And I felt like we could have gotten more on Mutsu, but we didn't. He was just kind of there to play
He
kind
had
of
his
devil's
moments.
advocate.
He was more like he just kind of accepted it more or less. Like it's not like
Yeah.
it didn't affect him. It's just
No.
he was confident and knew where he was and why he was there.
Yeah,
He
because many of the other swords, when it comes to the death of their masters, have a hard time. And even I know Hachisuka had probably a difficult time dealing that final blow to Kondo. And Mutsu pretty much didn't bat an eyelash when he did it. But I know deep down you could tell there was respect, which was why he did what he did, because Hijikata was going to die. So
yeah.
might as well help.
Yeah. So he shoots him, and the entire Shinsengumi group of blades is standing there together, and they just break down sobbing. And then it goes black. It's like, well, darn.
Well,
Okay.
it went black exactly at the shot. So they were crying right before.
Okay, well.
Yeah, they were crying as he was walking away. And
Okay.
Shotaro, like, his crying was like, he had, like, Kane-san had some mad crying. Like, he was, like, bad sobbing. I was like, oh, buddy, how is this good acting, or are you actually, like, feeling this? Like, is this, like, some hardcore method acting right now? Or, because, ouch, my heart.
Yeah. Then we get the report back at the Citadel. They don't just leave us on that. And Tomoe finishes giving his report back to the Saniwa, and we see the others. We see Mutsu running around chasing Kane-san. Well, other way around, actually, because Mutsu's got a stick of dango that he
Oh my
stole
gosh,
from
yes.
Kane-san.
I love how he just
And he's
steals
like-
things from
Yeah.
He really
the
does.
sake, the dango. We need to go back and rewatch and see if he steals anything else.
Oh my gosh, yes. Can he steal Yasu's scarf at some point?
Don't tell him, or he will probably.
But it's like, give it back. It's mine. I was hungry. And the others are just watching them like, what's going on? Mitsu takes the final bite and just leaves the stage like, I'm good now. Cool, thanks.
You know, besides pretending to choke on said last piece and causing poor Nagasone worry.
Yes. Mutsu was learning his jokes from Tomoe. We'll go with that.
Poorly
Maybe
timed
it's the other
jokes.
way around.
Ah,
And that's why we have so many bird joke problems.
oh my gosh.
Um,
That would make a lot of sense, considering in game, usually you're gonna get Mutsu no Kami a lot quicker than Tomoe. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mutsu taught Tomoe how to joke. Or how to not choke.
Yeah.
Bad puppy. Bad puppy.
But then we get the angry Kane-san haiku.
Kane-san was a
Oh.
big mood. That's freaking me.
Oh, he's like, even I want to eat dongo. He says the word dongo so angrily. I have never heard someone say the word dongo being angry. It's really hard to say it angry in general, and he does it and makes the most pouty face afterwards. I couldn't stop laughing from that. It took me a good few minutes to calm down.
He has a
The
spoiled little
biggest
sword.
mood.
And then we have the group grief counseling part 2 now that Hori and Kane have gone through it as
Yeah.
well. They're like, oh well, I guess with that era being taken care of, that we won't need to go back to the Bakumatsu era. And I think it's Yasu that says it first. He's like, actually, I think I'm going back. I want to go see this for myself. I need to go check. And Nagasone's like, I was thinking the same thing. And then Hori and Kane-san say the same thing as well. And you're like, wait. All 4? Okay. And then we get a beautiful song from Bourbon Mutsu as the 4 of them take off together in different corners of the stage, of course. But what is with these magic citadels and sending multiple swords on Kiwame at once?
I don't know. Screw the rules. We have money?
We don't have money, but we have the paper. Please let us give the paper.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well, at least the stage is doing it correctly.
I don't know. Never mind. Backing up.
We'll have a good old discussion on the stage's Kiwames at a later.
Okay, I'm guessing stuff happens in Hiden, and that is a whole other
There's-
story.
We'll have a good discussion on Hiden at a later date. Let's just say that this has been an actually harder episode to record than I thought. And we just made it through the end of the home pen. So, any
Hey.
overall thoughts on the home pen itself from you guys? Like a favorite scene of yours, favorite song thus far, just in general, any wrap up notes from the home pen?
Beautiful. That's all I can honestly say at this point. Like, it was so well done, emotional, very well done with the music, everything. So much love. That's all I want to say. For the Honpin.
Yeah. This is a wonderful wrap up to the Shinsengumi story. You kind of like, even though they're going on their Kiwame journey, we ourselves as viewers don't need to like see that. That's going to be a personal thing. So this really wrapped it up in nice 2 parts with that. And I have, so we might, I have no idea what we're going to do for the next musical, considering the first one was about, gosh, sorry, my legs. The first and
Because the first
fifth?
and the fourth were about the
Yeah. So
about
we've kind of had some
Yoshi.
we've kind of had some continuations. So we might have a possible continuation with the Ieyasu crew,
Mihotose
maybe.
crew?
Please, please, please,
That's-
please, 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 please,
That would be-
please, please.
We dealt with
Petition
the
to
birth
bring
of
back
the
Hachitsuka.
the death. Can we?
I
What
don't
are they gonna
know.
do for him then?
I don't know. That's why I'm confused. So like we'll see how it goes from here when it comes to eventual later on. So because
Yep.
4 of them, like 2 musicals will connect to each other, except Miyotose is just kind of in the the weird middle going, I am the awkward middle child. My formula is different than all the others.
Yeah.
To be
Maybe
quite
we'll
frank.
be surprised.
Well,
We might
well,
be surprised.
I'm sure we'll be surprised by whatever they bring out next.
Yep.
But that's a talk for later.
Oh yeah.
Small, did you have any thoughts from the home pen?
Overall, I thought it was good. It was kind of hard to remember because it was 4 a.m. But other than that, it was Haru-chan, Tomoe, our queen bee. That's all I gotta say. Hashtag best sword of the year right now.
Oh, especially as we move into the live.
Yes.
He stole the show.
Lexi, did you have any thoughts on the home pen before we transition?
I enjoyed it. I wish I watched it under better circumstances myself mentally. But between all the Touken things, I was like, let me just throw myself at every single thing at once and then watch this and then like realize that the way that I watched it wasn't probably the best way. Like, there's certainly a way that if you watch things like with someone versus by yourself, you have different reactions. Like, I enjoyed watching it, but I feel like it's the things that you notice when you're by yourself that kind of make you appreciate it a little bit more than before. So I enjoyed it a lot. I would go rewatch it, which I should, and I need to. But until then, I'm just gonna appreciate it for what it is. Haru-chan, Queen Bee, Praise Bee. And please give the big mood his dongo. And please find my
Good
husband. Please find my husband.
We will find your husband for all of the
Especially-
damages he has caused.
Both emotional and physical at this point.
Yes.
Okay, so moving into the life restoring live.
Bless the live.
Bless the live, indeed. Ugh. Except for their alien outfits. Can we not enter the space age, please?
Yeah.
Oh,
Those first outfits were
But
need
they
some
aren't
milk for those
cold.
burns.
But they aren't cold.
You're
They
not
look
wrong.
pretty warm in their outfits.
You said something, Sarah?
Oh, I just said that we need milk for the roasts about those outfits.
Yeah, when I saw promotional pictures of these outfits in the beginning, I was like, no. That's worse than the velvet from Mihotose. Why do they pick really super shiny material for the top layer? Because, excuse me, it looks terrible on stage lighting and in photo lights because it reflects light a lot. No.
I mean, actually, I feel like these were better than Mihotose.
True, they were.
I'm
Sorry.
Then the velvet from Mihotose.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, from the
Hear me
velvet.
out,
We're
like-
talking about the overcoats.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it didn't look as heavy. That was a good thing. But
Yeah.
it kind of looked like a cheap raincoat.
I need a cheap
It's
raincoat.
raining men.
Oh, they certainly did know how to make an entrance too.
Did they?
Oof.
The sass of every single one of them when they came on stage. Oh,
Yeah.
Especially Haru.
him and
Oh,
his
especially
hips.
Harutan.
Oh yeah.
Oof. Oof.
All the oof. He he knows how to work his body into. Once he started posing, all the other things, they're like, we're gonna how to shunk thing.
He's definitely a ringleader, and I approve. Sarah, can you tell your comments on the Kisses song?
Oh Lord. Which part? The
I know
less
exactly
the
which part I'm talking about.
I have a lot of that one. So I put a note initially about the less than with the English that they threw in, and then I added better love story than Spee.
You're not wrong.
Would
Hugs,
love to Spee.
hugs, Humble Kitty.
Oh no.
This shade. Oh my goodness. Where are
The
my
picture
sunglasses
is
at, you
darker
guys?
than the current storm.
Please, no, that did not come from me.
In my defense, I'm like, as of this recording, it was only 20 or so hours ago when I made this, if that says sleep I was getting. But like they integrated the English so well, which I think helps because Haru-chan, Tomoe's actor, is fluent in English, which if you follow him on any social media, you will be very aware of. So they're actually able.
Spee is too.
I'm trying to give him an out right now.
See, that wasn't Spee's fault.
No.
Yeah. So they just finally figured out how to write a better English song. That's all.
He probably consulted Spee.
Guys,
could
English
have.
is
I highly
hard.
doubt it. English is very hard.
English is
It's very
freaking hard. I hate it.
I mean, us native speakers can't even master.
Nope.
Yoked.
People still don't know the difference
Yoked?
between your and your. So-
There now.
Wait, there.
Yeah.
There.
Yep.
So the next one though was my absolute favorite song, and when they lost the layer too, like, it was.
It's me, Anastasia.
Yes. Yes.
I think that every time they take that first layer off, it's always a
Oh my
jacket.
gosh.
So, Grandma, it's me, Anastasia. Just takes it off because they always take it off so like dramatically. It's not just like, oh hey, we're gonna take it off casually. It's like, bam.
But didn't Puppy keep it on when he started dancing?
Puppy had it on because he was at the bottom where there wasn't like they were
Yeah.
on the raised up part of the stage, and they strolled up, and then all at once, all of them stripped off that layer.
Yeah,
And it
because
was-
the way that it moved with the way that he moved his hips, like darn, it was really cool. I really like it.
But can
Or
we
it's called
also
Baby.
add who they're cuddle? Like all of them are just like, okay, cuddle time.
Right? Like Kitten found a burb and is not letting go, but then him and Hori are just super adorable too. And
Oh yeah.
all of the cuddles, like this was the cuddle song. Like, hi, let's pose together, okay? Okay, next.
But I love these outfits so much. They're probably some of my favorite like main live outfits because I'm gonna call these pretty much these are the outfits that they wear for like 90% of the live. So and what we usually see during Shinken Rambusai when they do change into their live out, what we see. I don't think they ever really bring out the overcoat, but they do go into the underwear underneath it is what I'm gonna call it. Because it's so thin. But like their main outfit for this one was just so pretty. I want to
It
do
really
that
was.
hoodie bad.
New
Like,
group cosplay.
yeah. We got this. You come back.
New future group cosplay. in
Yep.
the process. We're
Yep,
good.
Finally.
I just want the coat, man.
But the one thing I love about the outfits is the subtleties with patterns. I'm trying to remember them in my brain a little bit more. It has been a while since I watched the live. But the feather work on Tomoe's was perfect. It was enough. It wasn't too much. And then if you look at Mutsu's shirt, his underlayer is the pattern on his pants, and I'm just like, I'm so happy right now.
It's
Thank you.
beautiful. And on Yasu's jacket on the back, it's got the triangles for the
Yep.
Shinsengumi Howdy pattern.
Yep,
And
yep.
then just in Horikawa's jackets, the Kunihiro pinstripes.
Yes.
And with the black shoulder triangle bits. And I just it's
so nice.
Mhm. And
So
like,
I have so
elegant.
much love.
and if you notice, like, even with other things that you shouldn't notice, for instance, in the Burb's underlayer, they did the stupid little gold triangles from his internal affairs outfit. They're just casually dripping down the front side, and
Seriously?
it's just like,
They
oh,
I have to
yeah,
check this now.
it's
and
gorgeous.
his sleeve is the same pattern that's on his blade sheath.
Yes, I remember that.
He also has the black what is it? Like he has the one sleeve,
His special sleeve, yep.
his special sleeve.
Yeah.
Ugh.
One child not being weird. That's all I wanted. One.
Oh, but I do have those.
You lost that as soon as the live started.
I thought he was an okay baby. I thought I was safe with this child.
Honestly, your most normal child at this point is probably Sohaya no Tsuru.
You're not wrong. Oof.
But then we enter the talk portion, which is by far my favorite part of the entire 3 hours.
Big mood.
In this portion, I forgot how to breathe. I could not inhale. I couldn't do anything.
Joy.
Jody. They do the standard, hey, let's greet the crowd and bring in the newbies too, right? And Mutsu's like, oh yeah, crowd, no problem. I was just letting y'all talk first. Let's sing, guys.
Kitten
Until
does not
Yasu
approve.
So Kitten does not approve. You have angered the kitten with your overexcited. But Nagasone's is perfection too. He's like, I've gotten quite good with this. Hey, watch. And he just, I don't know what Jody is, but the face that he makes while he does it is very concerning. And he needs to stay away from my poor son, who is a little too ticklish for this kind of behavior. Because he grabs him, brings him close, puts his neck in the crook of Yasu's neck, and is whispering, Jody, right next to him. And Yasu's like, get away from me.
I remember that now.
Yup.
It's the next inside
Lexi,
joke.
come back.
Collect your boy.
Happily. I will happily come and collect.
Good,
I
because
really
otherwise
will.
I'm going to fine your husband.
I would like to find my husband. I really would.
Oh, but this time I feel like they really did save the best for last. Would you like to describe the Burb's entrance?
Can I do it without laughing? That's the question.
I know I can't very well, so.
This is where all hope of anything went by. So they're like, okay, Tomoe-san, your turn. And he just gets up from where he's sitting on the stage, like the steps in the back, struts like it's a catwalk, and drops it like it's hot. And he's just like leg propped up, stretched out like he's on the pinup, draw me like one of your French girls. And he's like, Aruji. And I'm just like, honey, no. Yeah. Yeah.
This line right there.
Yeah.
Aruji, starting right now, won't you make an interesting story with me?
Oh my god.
Draw me like one of your French girls is not far off.
No.
No. In some
God.
far off corner of the Citadel, Heshi is screaming. Get away!
Oh no.
But I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I'm remembering this out of context, but I know the meme was a thing before, but I swear to God, at some point, it was during the talk show, Yasu just goes and leggies up. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Give it a minute.
That's coming. Give it a minute. Give it a minute.
Okay,
That's coming.
later.
But first,
Okay.
so there.
I couldn't remember.
So after his little like, won't you make a story with me? Moment, Yasu just looks at him as he's stretched there on the stage. He's like, "What's with this? I thought you wouldn't be able to do this at all, but you're just fine. What is that pose?" So he instantly copies, like mirrors the pose back to back, or tries to.
Yes.
And so they all start trying to do this pose. and Kane-san and his long legs, there's not room for him to do so. So Hori just kind of like scooches over a little bit more to
And
the
just
other
sits.
side. He's like,
Legit, Tomoe's like, Horikawa, come here. So Hori's like, huh? And he looks and Kane-san just grins at him. And he's like,
yeah.
ah.
Oh,
Scoot, scoot.
okay. Good. And then they legit sit like that for a minute in silence before fixing themselves into a proper sitting position. And Yasu's like, what are we even doing with this time? Because they had gone completely silent. And so they stand up and everything. And Hori's like, oh yeah, that's right, Tomoe. I saw you sitting around the Citadel like this quite often, but you were talking with somebody. Who was it that you were talking to? Or sitting with? Kashu Kiyomitsu. Kashu Kiyomitsu. And Yasu walks away and he's like, Kiyomitsu, just when did you find the time to do this kind of thing? Speaking off to do so.
He's a very upset kitten.
He is. And then the bird, he looks at him and he's like, oh yeah, that's right. We would often talk about Yamatsu no Kami Yasusada. Let it be known that throughout the entire thing, this is the first time full name has come out of Haruji. Like, Tomoe calls them all just by one of the names. Like, be it Horikawa, Izumi no Kami, or what have you. Like, Yamato no Kami Yasusada was often talked about. And, or maybe it was just Yasusada? Anyway, Yasu, he just kind of blinks, puts his hands on his hips, and he's like, what did he say about me? All that Tomoe responds with is laughter. Just it's a nice little, yeah, you're not gonna know. I know. You won't know. No, what did he say? What did y'all say about me? And the questioning becomes more intense, and the laughter only grows. And the others start laughing too, like they know, and they start circling around Tomoe. Just laughing. And Yasu's like, fine, I guess that calls for acrobatic baboon! And so he does this
Oh, yeah, he probably is.
no-handed flip and runs off stage like Imano Tsurugi.
Someone left him alone with the Genji Cyclone too long.
And then all of the others, like Sone and Mutsu and Kane-san, they run off baboon! leaving Tomoe and Horikawa. And Tomoe looks at Hori and goes, Baboon, and runs into Hori, grabs hold of him, and rolls over onto the raised up portion of the stage. Rolls over, has let go of Hori at this point, stands up, and just continues to run off stage. Leaving
just
the poor
left him
confused
dumbfounded.
Waki all alone. Like, guys, come back. Don't leave me out here. Come back, please. Guys. It was beautiful. And so they all come back, and then they just end up doing this, like, okay, thanks, fun pose.
Leggy.
But then the leggy happens because
it's
Hori's
happening.
like, okay, well, we're going to start moving into our next song. And as we do so, hey, Kane-san, let's do the crowd participation bit. Can you get them to yell back? And so he does the, who's like, when I say cool and strong, you say Kane-san. He's like, don't let Horikawa beat you when it comes to the noise. You've got to really work hard, okay? Yell it out. Kane-san. It's beautiful. But he's like, aw, man, now I feel really uncool. I guess I need to make a pose to show you guys that I actually am really cool. So he, like, moves over, and Hori is ready. Like, he squats, has his knee propped up and ready for Kane-san to put his knee on Hori's leg, or his leg on Hori's knee. And all of the others are, like, moving into position behind him, and Yasusada's got Tomoe by the wrist. He's like, come stand over here. Stands behind Horikawa, and they're all making a pose like Kane-san, except for Yasusada, who decides, oh, I'm gonna put my leg in the air.
My goodness. Like,
my sister, though, I showed her this one clip of it while she was over the other day. Over last night. And she's like, does he need Tomoe there to, like, help support him because Kashu's not there for him to put his leg on?
Oof.
And I was like, well, I guess.
I guess. I guess. I guess.
My sister back with all the slang comments. I don't even know.
Cam is great. Cam is
She's
great.
fantastic.
She's the best.
So yeah, they do that pose, and Yosu's like, well, darn, guys, I think we all got the MVP tonight. Well done. And then they finally move into the song.
But the leggy wasn't just from that performance.
No, the leggy was also done behind the scenes too.
Oh my god.
I have
Torigoe
receipts.
and his leg. He just really likes to lift his leg. He is very acrobatic and bouncy. I don't know how I end up with all these bouncy children, but I do. And yeah, he just really likes to show that he can make it go rather straight up. He's like, guys, look at this. I'm having fun. Ugh.
Oh, Toripio.
Oh, and then the next song though, they told them they could become anything. They became Jedi.
Oh yeah.
They did.
The black light sticks that they've got that look like lightsabers.
But they're like yellow.
That yeah, yellow. Well, like neon rather,
Yeah, neon yellow.
so that they can reflect the colorful. But whatever, yeah, they glow. Or like this neat greenish yellow is fantastic. They even used fans in this song, and I was really surprised too. Like, all of a sudden,
they did.
Yasu no longer had his lightsaber, and he had fans, and he, like, handed them out to the other two as they walked by in a circle.
This song had a lot of props, and I was a bit confused, to be honest. I was like, why?
Yeah, it was a really good song, though.
Yeah,
and
it was a good
really well
song.
done.
I was just like, why do we have so many props for this though? Like, why can't we just have normal dancing or maybe one prop? But we're doing dancing. We have lightsaber sticks, and the fans have returned from their Otokomichi songs so that they did in Bakuten. Return of the Howdy Flags
Yeah.
fans. Sorry.
But, like, have you seen this group yet? If the first part of the lie wasn't anything, go big or go home. We're gonna be the most extra. Who needs one prop or no prop when you can have multiple in one performance, in one song?
Right?
They
Oh,
out
and
to
then
slay, they out to kill, and they succeeded.
oh,
I'd hate to see them go out on the town.
Oh,
let's
Lord.
not go down that rabbit hole. Oh, we've been doing this for so long. Okay. We also got Horia solo. Really
Another
pretty.
one.
Another one.
Yay!
Well, yeah.
My boy deserves all of the love. He has such a pretty singing voice.
Still a better solo than
Then what?
Endless Night.
Yeah, anything's better than Endless Night. Like, okay, I am a big Tomokichi and Spee fan. I love them, but God, that song is terrible. Not only is the lyrics terrible,
I wasn't talking about Love
oh, not
Story.
sorry, my brain.
Or not
It's like
Love Story,
11:30.
but
Oh,
We're all
Endless
used.
Night. It's 11:30.
Endless Night, the
Oh
Mika
yeah, you
song.
don't like the Mika song very much.
It actually grew on me.
It's 11:30 right now. I'm a bit kind
I
of
know.
brain frazzled.
We're so close.
But
We're
no, it's
so
better.
close to the end, guys.
It's better than Speed's song. But Endless Night, eh. Okay, yeah, it is better than Endless
I
Night because they're
appreciate
both
all the
ballads.
songs as a whole.
It's a decent solo song.
It's nice. I don't think there's a song in any of the musicals that I don't appreciate on some level.
Kane-san and Burb duet, though. Have your squeal. Go.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, though. That song killed me. Good surprise jazz duet with the sexy dancing on the chair and the what is Kane-san leg and the spinny ground hugging air spinnies. Okay, I'm
Big
good.
mood, me too. That's freaking me.
Jesse can translate me now.
I'm not even sure how to translate that, to be honest. The dancing was really well done. All of the sass came out in this, like, the two of them know how to move themselves. I'm fairly certain that Haru-chan, like, worked very, very closely with Kane-san and making sure he could move how he should.
Yeah, because Kane-san has better hips than Spee, but
Everyone has better hips than Spee.
Yeah, everyone had better hips than Spee, but his Kane-san, he needed work. Like, he can move. He's a very lanky, tall kind of guy, so obviously he would have a hard time moving about. So thank you, Haru-chan, for teaching him dance. Please teach Spee by the time Shinken Rambusai comes. Please. We have two dancers. We have him and Hige's actor. Please teach that boy how to dance.
Especially
Can I
because
put forth a petition?
To teach Spee to dance.
No, to stop bashing on Spee. For like the past 10 minutes, all we've been doing is bashing Spee. Spee isn't even in this right now.
It's just love. It's just love. Much love for Spee.
Please.
we all
Yeah.
love him.
Anyway.
It hurteth.
But like,
After
can we just appreciate though the fact they were dancing? Like Haru-chan's doing all of these dances in heels. Please, just one moment to praise him for that.
I
Some
want to
of
know
it.
how much Ryuji put up a fight or fuss when he discovered this fact, because we know that boy has been fighting to like have his heels.
Yeah. It makes you wonder what his solo this year has got him for his footwear.
I need to.
I think they
So
just started pre-orders for it.
I know this stream was happening soon, so doesn't surprise me. Anyway, we have 2 more songs. The group song, which is when they went out into the crowd and had a lot of fun playing with each other and the crowd, and with Virgie, because that was a. And then we had
Kimono.
also known
Fire,
as
fire, whoosh, whoosh.
Fire Whoosh Whoosh.
Fire, fire, whoosh, whoosh.
Fire Whoosh 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 Fire Sticks.
That's my
Never give up.
jam. I love it.
It was really weird to hear it with only 6 people, not gonna lie. It was also really weird to hear Yasu do the part that Okurikara did in Shinkensai 20. Because Yasu's voice is not nearly as rough as
Psyche.
distracted his voice.
Kimono is great in all its forms. I
It
still
really
get
is,
lit
no.
every time.
I love it. It's fantastic. From the instrumental and the beat of it all to the movements and the sticks with their symbols on it, and I just
Yes.
it's
Yes.
fantastic.
I agree.
All
I
the
scream
hype.
every time.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
mood.
Big whole mood.
We also get their underwear layer.
Yep.
Their
Yep.
underwear layer.
The skimpy layer.
Return of Yasusada Dangerous.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and say, for our crew, if you are doing it, I am helping you make these outfits. We are doing the outfits too.
Okay. Got it.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I had to warn Sarah for that one because it has sleeve, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the sleeve.
I think mine's
Yeah.
just a tank top, but
Yeah, basically.
once again, it's like a little shirt. No, his is this little
Wait.
shirt. Oh, that was the cute thing. They actually, instead of being like, they were still kind of skimpy material when they took it off. But I loved Horikawa's. His is essentially the button-up shirt that's underneath his vest, and it
Yes.
killed me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is his shirt, but it's shorts. It's so
And that
cute.
makes so much sense when I think about Yasu's now, though, because like his jacket, if you think of it like the outer layer of his kimono, the under one is white.
Yes.
It's
That is. This was a lot smarter than. Granted, I love the outfits from the first 2 musicals. They've gotten a lot smarter with the design of the second and third layers. The first layers are usually some kind of jacket that's very uniform. To kind of give them that uniform look while they're on stage, and then obviously we get the their personality seen in the last 2 stages of their outfits, and they've gotten so creative with them at this point. So props to the design team once again for the beautiful outfits instead of just, hey, there's a undershirt thing.
Indeed. But Yasu needs to put his tummy away. He didn't have Hachi there to tell him no.
Let him have a little bit of fun. It's a different group, and he felt like he needed to express himself a bit more than before.
Express or expose? That is the question.
To some people, they are the same thing.
Oh my gosh. Sengo?
Sengo. Don't get me started on Sengo. Please. My good kid.
We're gonna have a field day when we review Shinsengumi 2019.
Oh yeah.
It's just gonna be a big cluster of, oh my god.
Okay, though. For real, though, guys, it's been a really long
Yes.
2.5 hours. Do you have favorite moment, favorite song from the live portion. Favorite character overall. Favorite thing overall.
Well, Horikawa bias over here. So, all I'm saying.
Burb love over here. Can't say anything.
Nagasone.
Small, like,
Gonna have to join Sarah with the burp love. Tell my god to steal the show. Queen Bee, everybody follow Bee.
well, Orikane-san's off on his own.
He'll be okay.
I guess
Horikawa.
he's tagging. Yeah. He'll tag along with Horikawa
I'll
to Marissa's
adopt
dinner
him.
table.
I'll adopt him over here.
Rip Mutsu Kami though.
Oh darn, yeah.
Okay, I'll take Mutsu too. I'll take
No, Mutsu can come chill over here. That's fine.
Okay. You take
Mutsu's a wandering puppy that goes visit everyone's house because he wants snacks.
That's valid.
He steals snacks.
You're not wrong.
He'll come, take a snack, and poof.
Hey, where'd my leftovers go? I don't know. Mutsu. He's that guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy that eats the fancy dessert you were saving. He wrote your name on it.
Yeah.
But anyways, do we have any last minute comments about the musical?
Currently, we just had a bit of a musical news announcement on a mini performance that's going to have a broadcast coming up later. We'll talk about that in the monthly review podcast.
Yes. Yep. You'll get more information about that in about 2 weeks or so when we release our October review. So look out for that. We have a lot more news this month of October than we kind of did September, and also I think a lot of us have actually gotten back on the whoop whoop Touken hype train because September for most of us was a little bit of a lag month. But yeah, when it comes to us, we're definitely the thing on the list is Heathen. Look out for more pain.
I forgot to say at the beginning, but like I remember the pain of this one and feeling it at the time. Now going back through this, I feel nothing.
Ouch. Well, that was
yeah,
me watching Bakuten for like the second or third time, so
the third time I watched Bakuten, hit me worse than any other time I watched it before. This time watching Musubi, I felt nothing because Hiden legit. Yeah.
Well, it was fresh. So just a word of warning for those of you. You think this one gave us feels? It gave me feels because I am a Shinsengumi stan and I love them so much. Hiden's gonna break all of us. I haven't yet watched it. About 3 of us have watched it. I know I haven't. Small, have you watched it yet?
I haven't, but
Okay.
I also haven't third one.
Okay. So 2 of us haven't watched it yet, but it will be much pain. So look out for that soon. I don't know if we're going to get that out by November because hey, guess what happens at the end of November? Big old turkey gobble gobble time. So we might have a hard
turkey gobble gobble time.
And
that is my new favorite word for Thanksgiving. Turkey gobble gobble time.
So we might have a harder time when it comes to organizing that because 2 of Lexi and Small are students, so it's going to be kind of the end of the year.
Oh yeah, finals.
Finals are going to be around that time, so we might push it back to probably I'll say about December, which might work out because hey, y'all will be off, so we won't have to worry about school schedules and stuff. So
work.
look out for probably Heathen coming out December or January at the latest. I don't want to promise anything, but I will definitely say we will not have a review for November. It's just not going to be feasible with the time that it is. So, yep. So thank you guys so much for listening to our, oh my gosh, I think our longest podcast to date. I thought Shonen was long. If you want to follow and know more about when we post things or keep up to date on some of the stage stuff, please follow us on our Twitter at Touken Rambles. And if you are more inclined with Facebook, we have you can look up our page. And if you want to listen to more podcasts, you can find us on our Podbean at Touken Rambles Podcast, or at any or we are also on iTunes and the Google Play Store, and in any other podcast listening site that you can think of. We'll be on there. So, and if you want to, thanks bots. If you want to talk with us a little bit more, you can join our Discord as well. So go to discord.me/Touken Rambles, or either Touken Rambles or Touken Rambles Podcast. Just look up the Touken Rambles in the search bar on discord.me, and you can join our server there. We're trying to once again, we're trying to be a little bit more active on there. But yep, please come and join us and make it more active. So have a good old crew to talk about Touken Rambles things as within the off times between these recordings. All right.
Yeah, come chat with us about recent events. If there's any musical news too, it's always fun to share there.
All right.
Screaming is fun.
Screaming is fun.
Especially about drops that you're very confused about.
Looks at my 3 Ishikirimarus.
You want a Jiro? Or a Taro? Please?
Okay.
Anyway.
Shizuka. Anyways, thank you guys once again so much for listening. We're Touken Rambles podcast, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.
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 Bye.